Okay, Spirit. That's the song for right now. What's up, family? Y'all go ahead and get in here. Your girl was supposed to go live from home, but home wasn't working out. Home wasn't working out. Let me turn off this Bluetooth because I don't want it to be. Your girl was supposed to be working from home, or doing this live from home, but schedule got busy. Gotta go pick up our kindergartner at 3 o'clock. I need to run to the grocery store. Just finished my own little self-care run. So we're going live from the car, and then I'll continue to run all of my errands. I don't need to go back home because I got 2 stops that I need to make. But what's up? Y'all say what's up when y'all come in here. Don't make me feel like I'm in here by myself. Don't make me feel like I'm in here by myself. I know y'all in here. Say what's up when you come in. I want y'all to go hear this song called I Need Love. I need love, love, only the love of you. What's my girl name who sings the song I Need Love? I can't think of her name. But anyways, y'all, this is a real quick D-Ray's diary, which is really okay that I go live from in the car because this is not meant to be a long video at all. D-Ray's diary is really just, hey y'all, now I see y'all popping up. D-Ray's diary is really just me giving y'all a glimpse into my life and who I've been, how I was raised, experiences that I've had, and how I healed, transformed, and came into the fullness of who I am. So that's what D-Ray's diary is about. If you haven't seen my 2 past videos that I did on D-Ray's diary, I would advise anybody to go look at it. Because what I want y'all to know and understand is that this spiritual work is about transformation. And in order to get to where you have to go, you have to look at how you have come to where you are right now. And so that's what D-Ray's diary really is for me. And so today, family, we are talking about self-sacrifice. Today we are talking about self-sacrifice, the family savior. And this conversation is so important because I feel like for most of us on this spiritual path, we've always unconsciously, subconsciously, and sometimes even purposely taken on responsibility for the family and for everybody's shit. Okay? So I want to talk to y'all about that because so many of us be acting like Jesus up in this mug. We the sacrificial lamb so that our families can be free. And on some level, this is necessary. Okay? Because on one level, we are sacrificing the delusion. We are sacrificing the illusion of this world. We are sacrificing really a certain level of comfortability and sanity to transform and heal our DNA and heal our lineage. What do I mean by that? I mean, we have so many family members who refuse to go beyond the veil. And because they refuse to go beyond the veil, they live comfortably. But we, people who decide to study self, we are really pulling back the layers of the veil, and we sacrifice comfortability. We sometimes sacrifice sanity. We sometimes sacrifice relationships. We sacrifice certain things so that we can heal our DNA, our lineage, heal ourselves, and heal all the children who will come after us. So on some level, sacrifice of self is necessary, it's powerful, and it's potent. But I want to talk about today those times that we sacrifice ourselves unconsciously, and it starts from a young age. Self-sacrifice for me started at a very young age when I recognized how crazy my family is and how crazy my family was. My family has actually come a very long way. A very long way. I used to have the type of family that whenever there was a family event, I'm always on guard. Even as a kid, I'm always on guard because I'm like, at any given moment, my uncle could start fighting my other uncle. My auntie could get into an argument with my mama. At any given moment, shit could turn toxic. Okay? At any given moment, things can turn toxic. And so, because I knew this was the type of family that I had, there was just one main experience where I sacrificed myself because I knew it would not end well for my family. And as I look back on that situation, I learned so much. So let me tell you all about this experience. Before I do that, let me say hey to y'all. What's up, Coco Mel? What's up, King Lion? What's up, Will? What's up, Lovely P? What's up, Deja? What's up, Dream? Love you. What's up, Tangela? What's up, Hannon? What's up, y'all? So again, I grew up with a crazy family. And I'm going to tell you the story of my first experience of self-sacrifice. And it wasn't pretty. It wasn't good. All right? So here's what happened. I had a next door neighbor. We were living in an apartment in the hood. I had a next door neighbor who literally, she was my next door neighbor. Like, this is my apartment. This is her apartment. We're both on the second floor. She's right across the way. I had a next door neighbor who was a young girl, same age as me. And oftentimes I would go hang out at her house, and then whenever I wanted to, I could leave and just go right back next door to my house. This once, and here's the crazy part. My uncle, my mom's twin brother, used to date the next door neighbor, right? He used to date her. He used to mess with her. He used to do whatever grown folks was doing at that time. Same stuff grown folks doing right now, right? The next door neighbor, my uncle, my mom's twin brother, used to date the mother over there. She was a single mother. She had 2 kids. And so I would go over there and hang out from time to time. This one specific time, I went over there to hang out. I am in the room with her daughter. It's nighttime, probably 8, 9 o'clock. It's not a big deal that I'm over there because she's literally my next door neighbor. All I literally have to do is walk out of her apartment, take 2 steps, and I'm at my apartment. That's how close they lived. And so the woman, I know her, I remember her name and everything, is crazy. The woman, the mother, the little girl that I used to go see, her mother had a younger brother. I would say he was around anywhere between 16 to 19, somewhere within there. 16 to 19, I can't fully remember. All I know is that I was in elementary school. And so it's nighttime. I'm hanging out over there. I knew I wasn't going to spend the night because why spend the night when you live like right there? It doesn't make no sense. And then there's this older guy, this older young man, young fellow there who I don't know. So it just wasn't, wasn't what's up. So it's nighttime and it's time for me to leave their house. It's time for me to leave their apartment to go home. I come out of the girl's room and the young man, the mother's little brother, who was an adult, who was a young adult to me, who didn't live there, his penis is out. And he's sitting on a couch, or he's sitting on a chair, and I guess I walked out while he was like beating his meat or something, but I came out. And instead of him like moving fast and covering up, no, he says, you want to see it or you want to touch it? He asked me these questions. I keep on moving, I leave on out, but that happened. So I didn't tell my mom that night. I didn't tell anybody that night. What I actually did was I went and told 2 of my older homegirls who lived in the apartments the next day. I just told them, I was like, yeah, I was over at so-and-so's house last night, and this dude, this boy, I'm in elementary school, showed me his private part. His private part was out when I came out of the room, and instead of him like covering up, he asked me if I wanted to touch it. I didn't touch it or anything like that. I just left out, but that's what happened. So I told them. They were older than me, so they understood that what was going on was absolutely wrong. And so they tell their mom, my two older homegirls, they tell their mom calls my mom. Crazy enough, when their mom called my uncle and my whole family was at my house that day. It was like a Saturday, right? So this happened on Friday night. The next day was Saturday, and we got family over at our apartment. My mom calls me into the house. What the hell is this talking about? This dude did this, and this. And I'm so scared because I know my family. I know my family will literally beat this dude's ass. Like he is about to be destroyed if I tell my family the truth. This is what's in my mind. And this is what I know. Because my uncle was there. My uncle just got out the penitentiary not too long ago for big crimes. Like I said, my family they tough, they hard. So when my mama is asking me this and my uncle is in the room and everybody is around and everybody's in the living room and everybody's like, what happened? You better tell us what happened right now. He about to go to jail. He about to get his ass beat. This is everything that my family is doing. Mind you, I'm in elementary school. And so instead of telling my family the truth, I say, no, it didn't happen. Oh my God, y'all. I got my ass beat. My mama whooped my ass. But I didn't make it up. I lied to my family. I sacrificed myself because I know that if my family knew the truth, they would have damn near killed that boy. Because I know my family. He would have been destroyed. And so now we're looking at my uncle going to jail. Because my uncle my uncle just got out of jail. My mama does not play on any level. So I took a badass whooping that day. A badass whooping that day for something that did happen to me. I didn't lie about it. But because I was aware enough to know the psychology of my family, I knew that if I told them the truth, something would happen to that boy or young man. I don't know exactly how old he was. He was older than me. Something would happen to him, but something is going to happen to my family too. It is. So I took the ass whooping. I sacrificed self. And the lesson that I've had to learn now as a healer, the lesson that I learned now from that experience is that sacred communication without judgment, without repercussion, is so important within family. Because otherwise, someone is always going to sacrifice themselves because they know that their family cannot handle what they have to say. You ever knew you needed to say something to your mama, to your daddy, to your brother, to your cousin, to your uncle? You knew you needed to say something. You knew you needed to express something to them, but you knew they could not handle it. You knew that they couldn't handle it. You knew that they were going to respond a certain way. Even though I know a lot of you have had a different experience. A lot of you have had the experience of you tell your mama the truth and she still beat your ass. And so now you really like, what the hell do I do? See, I knew if I would have told my mama that, it was about to be war in that young man's life. I knew that it would destroy. How am I in the car? Are y'all here with me? How am I in the car and my phone is overheating? That don't make sense. I'm in the car. I'm in the car with the AC on and my phone is overheating. Y'all come on back in, because we just now getting into it. You don't need to disappear now. I am here. I am here. I don't know how a phone is overheating. I don't know how a phone is overheating while in the car with the AC on. How does that work? That's the hateration. And that's the second time. That's the second time that has happened. That's the second time that has happened while doing D-Ray's diary. Okay? So, like I was saying, because I know the psychology, because I know the psychology of my family, I sacrificed myself to protect them against themselves. I sacrificed myself to protect them from themselves. Because I know them. I know them very well. They don't take no shit. They don't take no shit at all. And that's facts, Will. That's facts, Will. My family don't take no shit. So I sacrifice myself to protect them. So I say all of that to say, it's so important right now for you being the spiritual being, for you being the conscious being, for you being the person who is present and who understands. It's so important for you to create a space for sacred communication. It's so important for you to create a space of sacred communication. Sacred communication with yourself, to know and understand that your truth shouldn't affect anybody else's actions, behavior, emotions. How my family would have responded was truly not my problem. But he shouldn't have did what he did, and he should have got the repercussions for that. But in my child mind, I didn't understand that concept. I didn't understand the energy of truth, in that how a person responds to my truth is their problem, not mine. But what I learned right now in my sacred healing work, what I learned in my work right now, is that speaking your truth is what will support you, and not sacrificing yourself. Because at the end of the day, you know what is real, you know what is right, you know what is good within you, and what is good and powerful for you. But if you are not able to express that, then you end up sacrificing your own wants, your own needs, your own desires, your own healing, your own body. But like I said, in my family, at that time, we hadn't created a space for sacred communication. How did I know this? At this point in time, right now, my mom had already been abused multiple times. My mom, I had already been held a hostage by one of my mom's boyfriends at the time. In that same apartment. In that same apartment, the exact apartment, the same exact place we were living, was the same space that I was actually held hostage in. My family was actually held hostage in. And we never had a conversation about it. We never had a conversation about it. And so why would I think that this situation, which is also extreme, which is also traumatic, why would I think that we could have a conversation about this and it actually turns into something beneficial? It wasn't happening. Okay? It wasn't happening. And so my young mind at the time only understood, don't say this is truth, even though it is. Don't say it, just lie. Sacrifice yourself. You're going to have to take that whooping, because you know your family, y'all cannot talk about shit like this. Y'all cannot talk about this heavy, toxic, scary, painful, traumatic stuff. Y'all can't talk about stuff like this, because if these things happen and they come out and whatever, somebody about to die. When my family knew we were being held hostage, you talk about, my family was beating the police to our house. Okay? So creating space for sacred communication is so important. Now I want to look at this question. So what about now? Do you go back on old wounds where you sacrifice yourself, or do you let it go by dealing with it personally without bringing others into it? That is such a great question. And to me, it honestly depends on where you are within your journey. Because for me, I personally don't have to go back to my mom and say, hey, that actually happened. I self-sacrificed myself because I thought y'all were crazy and I thought that y'all were not going to be able to handle that truth. I don't have to do that. You may have to. If you still feel resentment, regret, anger, frustration towards your mom or towards whoever the situation dealt with, then you might need to have that conversation to get that load off of yourself. For me, though, I learned and understood exactly why that happened. And at the end of the day, even though it happened when I was a kid, I still take responsibility and a deeper understanding for it now. And now I'm conscious about what I do and what I don't do. See, if you are still self-sacrificing yourself in this day and time, then yes, you need to backtrack. You need to take a step back into those old wounds. Okay? Because I understand now, truly, not just understand, but because I understand now, truly, that my truth should not have a certain effect on them. And if it does, it is because they're taking my truth personally. Now I know, okay, it's okay for me to express it, because if I do and it brings up something within them, now that's something for them to deal with. But see, a lot of times we don't want to tell our truth to people that we love specifically because we know it's going to bring up emotion in them. And so what we're really saying is that we're still self-sacrificing. So if you know that there's something within your heart that you need to get off your chest, then do it. And don't feel like you have to protect your mother. Don't feel like you have to protect your father. No, it is their job to protect you. But for me personally, because all of the mental, emotional, spiritual work that I've done, my actions have changed so much that that old way of thinking, that old way of being is no longer heavy on my heart, and I'm able to talk to you about it now. Let me know if that makes sense. Let me know if that makes sense. If you are still withholding your truth because you don't want to make somebody else feel some type of way, you're still self-sacrificing, and you are still afraid of that sacred communication. Another person's emotions is not your problem. Another person's reactions is not your problem. But you need to be vulnerable enough. You need to be able to hold space enough to allow them to express how they feel in response to what you say, and you not be overtaken by it. Okay? If you feel like there's something you need, I remember this other, man, let me tell you a different angle of this same exact thing. Because I have had to express in the past. I've said this time and time again. I grew up with a single mother who was tough, who was a go-getter, who still shows up for me to this day. I love her and I'm grateful. My dad, on the other hand, was very distant. I know he loved me, but the way he showed up in love, I wanted something different. I needed something different. And I remember when I got pregnant with our son, KJ, who actually started kindergarten today. When I got pregnant with him, my spirit was still unsettled with the way my relationship with my father had played out. And being pregnant really triggered me to express that. I had to get it off of my chest. And so I remember one day driving home at night, I called my dad and I was like, hey daddy, I just want to talk to you. I just want to tell you that when you missed my graduation, that really hurt me. I really wanted you there. I just wanted to tell you that there were times where I needed you. I needed you to pick me up from my mama's house. I needed to go and spend some time with you. I needed that, and you did not come. That hurt me. That left a scar, a wound within my heart. See, self-sacrificing would be not telling him that because I don't want to hurt his feelings. Self-sacrificing would be not expressing my truth because I want to keep him comfortable. Like everything is still all good. And do you know, after I told my father all of that, he apologized, but he still blamed my mama for it. He was like, you know what, baby, I'm sorry you feel like that. I really wanted to be there for you, but your mama wouldn't let me. Your mama always wanted to be arguing. Your mama always wanted to be fighting. Your mama always this, your mama always that. But his response didn't matter because it was about me expressing what I felt and what I was going through and what I was overcoming. Okay? So if you feel intuitively that there's something you need to get off of your chest, then do it. But a lot of times, especially for black men and women, we have a problem with emotional intelligence. We have a lack of understanding of how we truly feel. We mask it with anger. We mask it with depression. Okay? So you really got to get honest and in tune with yourself and really surrender into your heart and allow yourself to express whatever may be coming up. And it is not your business how they respond. How somebody responds to what you say and how you feel is not your business, it's theirs. And when you allow yourself to be bullied, when you allow yourself to be bothered based off of how they feel, this again is a reflection of you and your own self-awareness. Okay? My oldest daughter told me some stuff that happened to her at her dad's house when she was young, and I was calm and told her to keep talking no matter how I felt. Exactly, Tangela. You gotta create that space so that she doesn't feel like she has to keep that stuff into herself because you don't know how to handle it. Oh, God, I know. I know. And this is why when our children are young, stop telling your kids shut up. Stop telling your kids be quiet. Stop telling your kids stop talking. Stop telling your kids that. Stop telling your kids stay in a child's place. Stop, because there's some very adult shit happening to your kids, and because it's an adult thing, they feel like they cannot express it to you because they got to stay in a child's place. Stop doing it. Create that space for sacred communication right now. Create that space for sacred communication right now. Because when I was a kid and that happened to me, I could not, there were many things that happened. That's just one example. There are many different things that happened where I was truly uncomfortable in the presence of someone. And not that I couldn't tell my mom because she wouldn't have my back. Because my mom is always going to have my back. My mom is, if I tell her anything about anybody, she taking off their head. So I couldn't tell my mom because she had no pause. I couldn't tell my mom because her meter, her 0 to 100 was real quick. And I didn't want her to get in trouble. I didn't want my family to be fighting. I didn't want that trauma because I had already witnessed it. I had already witnessed police coming to my family's house. I had already witnessed my aunts and uncles fighting each other. I had already witnessed so much trauma. I was like, you know what? I ain't about to bring in no extra drama into my family's life and have people going to jail and fighting. I ain't gonna do it. So it's so important to create space for sacred communication between you and the people that you love. And it's so important for you to, I understand now, that's not to say that sometimes you don't need to go off. That's not to say that sometimes you don't need to go off, that you don't need to chop off heads. Because best believe, Desiree D. Wise will chop off heads. But there's a certain way that you have to do it. See, we got to get clever. We got to get intuitive. We got to stop just automatically acting off of anger. Because we can get to people who do harm, to innocent people. We can get to them in a whole different way that doesn't necessarily put you in trouble with the law. Sometimes it got to go there. Sometimes it does have to go there. Physically, spiritually, sometimes it does have to go there. Okay? Not saying that it don't. Sometimes it very well does. But again, there's a way to do it. So create sacred communication. Stop self-sacrificing yourself. Excuse me. Another person's emotions, the way another person is going to deal and understand whatever you got going on, that's their business, not yours. Okay? So however my mother, my uncle, my father, however they would have responded, that's their business. But when we love and when we have this understanding, we'll sacrifice ourselves because we want everybody to be good. We want everybody to be safe. Okay? So create a level of sacred communication. I can talk to my mom now about anything. I'm grateful for that. But it ain't because she's changed, it's because I've changed. Okay? And because I've changed, now I see her differently. Now I approach her differently. You are the one that's supposed to be conscious. You are the one that's supposed to be aware. You are the one that's supposed to be in tune. So I challenge you to stop self-sacrificing yourself. Nobody asked you to do it. Nobody asked you to do it. You made that up in your own mind, just like I did. I didn't know any better. But I know now. Okay? I know now. So I love y'all. Hopefully I'll be seeing y'all this Sunday for how to heal from toxic family and relationship and intimate relationships. This is an important conversation we'll be having on Sunday, my mama's birthday. Woo woo, shout out to her. And on Friday, I'm gonna go live with my good sis Iman. We're gonna talk about motherhood. We're gonna talk about sacred unions, sacred relationships, how you actually manifest them. We're just gonna have a good old conversation. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for that on Friday. Love y'all. We'll talk soon.